Okay. So thanks for your patience. Thanks everybody for coming, making the trip to come out here in the midst of COVID, Delta, Omicron, everything. Thank you all for being here and for making the trip to come out to the Las Vegas Remedy User Group Conference 2021. Next slide. Jason, are you doing the slides?
I'm trying.
Okay, he's trying. So sorry. So Jason's Jason's running these slides on a VM that's at my house on a container in Texas. So that's why we're doing this. So for those of you who don't know, Lenny and I just kind of came up. Actually, I think Lenny, you probably had the idea to come up with the Las Vegas Remedy Users Group. He likes Las Vegas. We like to come. So he said, hey, let's have the Las Vegas user group when Bob and I were doing the virtual Remedy users group. So LVRUG is an acronym here. We've got 36 breakout sessions. We've got the BMC presenting. We've got a lot of you are presenting as well, and we really appreciate that. By the way, this is the only conference in 25 years I've actually ever paid to go to, and all of y'all paid too. This is not a, if you're a presenter, you get to come free. Everybody, when y'all paid, and we appreciate that. So that's the only way we could do this. So it's designed for customers, developers, administrators, managers, technicians. I'm reading the slides because it's the first time I've seen these slides. Thanks, Lenny. And so this is just basically, it's us Remedy folks, BMC Remedy folks. So they've been doing this for a long time. So I want to, again, congratulate you guys. You guys are the final warriors in the Remedy world, right? Because there's not a lot of us left. Okay, next slide, Jason, please. So I'm Phil Batista. I've been doing this for a long time. My company is Bull Creek Data. We also have Bob Ellington, who is my guest and has been a customer. I've worked with Bob several times. Bob is here under my company's name. We have Jason Miller, who has been around, was one of my, worked for one of my customers, Sharp Healthcare, and he's now working for a company called Shariella. And then we've got Lenny Warren with RMI Solutions. There he is, Mr. Football himself.
Again.
All right. So is it back to you now, Lenny?
Nope, you got one more. Next slide.
One more slide? Okay, next slide. Oh, sponsors. So again, thank you for all the sponsors. Obviously, RMI Solutions, BMC Software, Partner IT is here. Mishi's in the other room with RRR Solutions. Kinetic is actually sponsored, and they're not going to make a presentation, but John's going to show up and hang out and chat with us. And then we've got Barry Lindstrom with Scrum Planet. See, I think that's about it. So thank you, everybody. And by the way, you know, this sponsorship is what's made this meeting possible. Lenny and I, when we started this, we're thinking, okay, how much is it going to cost us? Because you've got food and beverage, you've got, you know, all this other AV stuff and hotel commits. So we were going into this, and it's going to cost each of us maybe $5,000 or $10,000. But as it is, it came out to where it's probably going to break even, and we won't put any money in other than what we've already paid. So it's because of the sponsors and because of you guys that have paid to come that have made this possible. Thank you very much. Okay, Jason, next slide.
All right, thanks, Phil.
Yep.
This is not very clear on the screen itself because of the font on this machine, but you still can see it very well through the Zoom itself. Everybody should have gotten the pamphlet that's sent out to all of you yesterday with the latest changes. It's got the schedule. It's got the events that's going on. It has our guest speakers that are going to be this morning as well as on Thursday morning for the closing ceremony. For those of you that are here, it also gives you what restaurants and things like that are in this area as well. So if you download it, you can always browse through that. You also can download the Excel spreadsheet. So you can go to the next slide. The Excel spreadsheet will give you the schedule. And if you look at the bottom, you'll see session 1, 2, and 3 for today, tomorrow, and the next day. We're going to show up on the Zoom at the bottom right-hand corner. You will see Breakout Rooms. And you will see the title of the session for that hour. So you can look and see which one. So you don't really have to look at the schedule if you don't want to, except for if you're a presenter, then you have to find out where you are. For those of you that are presenting, we would like for you to get close to our speaker right here. This is our microphone. So it goes out to the Zoom people that are out on the virtual. And so you will sit in this corner, at least in this room, and should be next to, in Phil's room, sit next to the microphone as well. So it projects across that area. As you can tell, in this room, my speaker's not working. And it's not going to work because the fact is you'll get a feedback on that aspect. So in the next room, they should be listening to me through the speakers coming through there, as you did with Phil on that aspect. So if you are presenting, you're not going to have that capability or anything. So, okay. This is the breakout room. We've gone through several revisions of where we're going to be, because we were supposed to be up on the 5th floor. Then they moved us to another room. And then we moved us in here because we really didn't know how many of you were going to actually show up. And then it started building and building and building. So then they worked with us, New York did, to come in here. So we appreciate everything that New York's done to accommodate us for the expanded size of the room and so forth. As you can see in the back room, you will find coffee, you will find water, you will find sodas. That's going to be throughout the day. This afternoon, around 2 o'clock, you will get cookies for those of you that are here, as well as new fresh pot of coffee and tea this time. That'll come along with that as well. There is no lunch. There is no breakfast. As you already found out this morning, there's no breakfast. So basically, you have time for those of you that are here. You have an hour and a half between our morning session and the afternoon session to run downstairs, get something to eat, bring it back here if you want to. The rooms will still be open in that aspect. However, we will feed you tonight. We do have 3 different events. Tonight is, of course, the networking, coming together. It's finger food, but all the liquor that you want to drink for the 2-hour duration. And then tomorrow is Birds of a Feather. You will get wings and pizza, as well as whatever liquor you want. Again, up until we leave, and we'll probably leave around 11 o'clock. I've been to some of those where it was, 3, 4 in the morning. So it all depends on how many discussion topics that we get into. The final one is the Christmas celebration party, and it'll all be in the same room. It'll be the American restaurant. We do have a Dirty Santa type presentation. You should have been asked if you wanted to participate in that. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just basically you go up, get a gift, or you can steal from somebody if you wanted to in that aspect as well. And when you steal from somebody, you can steal that gift up to 3 times. Now, you can't, but you can take it, and then somebody can take it from you and so forth. However, in 4 of them, there's going to be a hidden gift. So just to let you know that you may steal or you may lose something that you may wish you would have kept on and so forth. If you want to dress up in Christmas outfit, that's up to you. I didn't bring mine, so I'll be coming in with just normal clothes, of course. But we do ask that you do come fully clothed. Next. So we do have our guest speakers. Unfortunately, she could not make it here. Margaret Lee, she is the SVP and GM of Digital Services and Operations Management at BMC Software. She was very gracious enough to be our guest speaker. May Bakken actually recorded with her through the last week, and we were able to get that. And now we're going to spend the next 15 minutes to hopefully have her come across and present our guest speaker. So next.
Hello, BMC Customer User Group. My name is Margaret Lee. I'm the General Manager of BMC's Digital Service and Operations Management business. We're very happy to sponsor this event. I joined BMC in January of this year, and in the last 12 months, it's been a year of innovation and transformation. I've met a lot of customers and team members, and I want to thank you for being BMC's customers. Today, I'd like to provide an overview of our strategy that we're executing and also going forward. "2021 has certainly been a year of transformation for BMC's service and operations management business. In the last 12 months, we have completed 3 acquisitions in this space. We've launched 3 major releases within service management, and the operations management side have done a continuous release on a monthly basis. We have innovated along countless number of major feature areas and launched a program called Design Partners, where our customers can jointly design, build, and validate our capability and new offerings way before they become solidified in releasable software. In the areas where we focused on foremost is to make sure that our software supports a great customer, employee, and agent experience in the areas of knowledge management or self-service. We have invested significantly into no-code, low-code capabilities, and we've integrated with third-party through our iPaaS integration platform. We invested significantly in AI, infusing AI and algorithms into service management, in proactive problem management, and other similar features, and also in operations management into AI ops to use machine learning to support operational situations. We expanded into the cloud, not just our own deployment, but enable customers to monitor and model services across on-premise and hybrid deployments. And lastly, we have moving the customers as well as our SaaS offering into a cloud-native microservices-enabled container form factor. So 2021 has been a busy year at BMC. Looking ahead, we are focused on 3 major areas for Helix, and we've started releasing capabilities along these 3 areas as we speak already. First is service management. We want to infuse AI into core ITSM offering, including self-service and knowledge management, including investment into lines of business, particularly HR. And as of yesterday, December 1st, we have launched our very first vertical-specific offering under Helix ITSM, which is Helix for communication service providers in telecommunication vertical. And to the right, we continue to invest significantly into operations management. One is allow customers to do dynamic service modeling and monitoring, and to make sure that customers can optimize the resources they need to run and support these services. We infused AI and launched our first offering in AI Ops at the end of March this year. And across the board on the product lines of Helix Operations Management, AI Ops Discovery and Optimize is the new lineup across the operations side of the Helix offering. What's new we're introducing is middle, what we're terming Service Ops. And Service Ops is a collection of capabilities leveraging the product components from service management and operations management to address issues and pain points we're hearing more and more from customers. These pain points derive from DevOps practices, from rapid innovation, and from the need to balance risk and innovation. All of service management, service ops, and AI ops sits on the Helix single platform. And this is another area we've invested significantly to consolidate and integrate single platform from data layer, as well as many common services that supports these 3 components on top. So within service management, across the 3 major releases in 2021, we've made significant strides around 4 dimensions. First is support employee and agent user experience. We expanded digital workplace to include the studio. Second is to really enhance service management into incident management and DevOps and ChatOps use cases. Third is to support more DevOps teams and Agile teams that use service management as system to track changes, to evaluate risk, and to communicate with backend operations teams. And then, of course, we'll continue to expand our integration and automation connectors so that your service management deployment can be better connected to the rest of your topology. Within operations management, within part of our monthly continuous release cadence, we've made significant strides in monitoring, using AI ML, and launching AI Ops. The second area that we're focused on is continuous service assurance to make sure these services have all the real-time capacity in terms of resources to make sure they're performant. We have launched intelligent automation so that our operations products is integrated with not just true site orchestration, but also other emerging common tools within data centers, such as Terraform and Ansible. And certainly, but not the least, we continue to invest in discovery, one of our strongest products on the market, and make discovery to be able to do dynamic service modeling. And particularly where part of the models are assets and components in the cloud. So what I like to do is spend a little bit at a time to talk about service ops, since this is a new area that we're investing in. And you will see that it is really a little bit of a back to future, because this is an area that customers are already using, maybe in a separate different systems, different products from BMC, trying to accomplish what we are trying to support them to do. So take a step back. Why service ops? I want to talk about many companies are going through digital transformation, likely yours as well. And part of digital transformation is to move faster, to release capabilities faster, release applications, and generally be more continuous in supporting customers' needs. And some of these customers can be internal employees. So that, in order to achieve that, many of the technology and company leaders have formed DevOps teams. And these teams are chartered to build fast, to iterate, and to be very customer-centric. However, the speed and iterative fashion of these DevOps teams oftentimes come into conflict and causing friction with traditional organizations that have complex multi-generational topology in terms of technology, and also may have a very long-living set of processes that has been established to manage risk and to improve governance. So how do you balance the complexity and innovation? So one concrete example, most of us can do banking today using our mobile phone. And likely there is a separate team within your bank of choice that builds and continuously release and update your mobile phone app. Our mobile phone apps are likely to get updated once, probably at least a month, and continuously get new features updated that delights the consumers. However, if you're trying to make a transaction, transfer money, deposit, something concrete from your mobile phone banking app, the transaction will likely touch the backend. And the backend could be mainframe, could be database-backed multi-tier systems. And likely that backend is highly regulated with very set preset processes for updates, right? So how do you make sure that your innovative mobile banking team works well with the backend systems? And this is where some of the friction is causing issues. And the way some of the issues are coming up is when we conducted research with Hanover. The research covered over 500 companies, large enterprises, to find that there are too many handoffs between the siloed system of service and operations management. The process is manual and error-prone, especially in the world where the DevOps teams try to make continuous changes, weekly, maybe even daily releases, and the number of changes and the complexity they involve is increasing. And this is also causing what the State of the DevOps report is calling stuck in the middle, meaning that many of the DevOps teams and practices are not progressing well in large enterprises that has traditional processes. And we think that BMC is uniquely positioned to help customer through this change. And we're proposing the capabilities around service ops. So what is Service Ops? Service Ops provides a unified environment for service management and operations management, right? Unified environment in the case of data, in the case of a user interface, in the case of access to the key information that your customers need to solve any particular problem. And that supports both the traditional IT and the newly emerging DevOps initiatives and teams. So what is a DevOps? Is that a new product? Is that a new offering from BMC? Well, yes and no. So from a platform perspective, first, DevOps, as I mentioned, Service Ops, I've mentioned, it sits on top of Helix platform. So what is Service Ops and why Service Ops? In a nutshell, Service Ops provides a unified environment that integrates service and operations management across data, across user interface, and to provide the best information for both service and operations teams. Service Ops is meant to support both IT, traditional IT, and the newly emerging DevOps teams and initiatives. So is Service Ops a new product, a new offering? Yes and no. So Service Ops is a collection of capabilities that spans across service and operations management. Very importantly, Service Ops sits on top of the BMC Helix platform. The platform consists of several very important pieces. Most importantly is a common data store. This common data store spans across tickets, problems, incidents, as well as logs, metrics, and events across service and operations management teams. This platform provides integration services to connect to the rest of your environment, as well as open integration to gather more data into the platform. It provides open APIs for customers and partners to access the data and functionality, a single portal for access, and single set of Helix dashboards for reporting, and many other common services. On top of that platform, and across service and operations management, Service Ops support a variety of specific use cases. For example, to dynamically model your services as they come and go, especially if they're microservices architected. Another example is in an incident situation to help manage incidents and solve the problem, to find root cause if there's service tickets coming in, raising issues about the performance of the system, outage of the system, to be able to find root cause very quickly by sharing information with operations teams, to be able to continuously expand the resources to make sure your services are performant and ready to use and highly available, to be able to kick off chats in a case of incident so that service teams and operation DevOps teams can all sit together to understand what is causing the problem. In the parlance of DevOps is collaboration and swarming situation, to be able to intelligently kick off predetermined automation to resolve issues, and most importantly, to really change the way change management and risk assessment is done today. So a couple of core capabilities for Service Ops cuts across all the different use cases, things such as collaboration, swarming, resource optimization, and integration with DevOps toolchains cuts across all the use cases. But on top of that, things such as modeling services, proactive incident management, advanced monitoring, root cause analysis, seamless change management, and intelligent automation are the key use cases supported by all the capabilities across service and operations management in Helix. So I hope you have a great event, and I thank you again for being BMC's customers, and happy holidays.
Okay. Should be the one more slide. As you can see, we do have some challenges because we're not new to putting on conferences. We did it from 2009 to 2013. Dan Bloom helped chair off that whole 6 years, I guess, working together on getting that, because it usually takes a year to get all these going and so forth. But I do want to mention a couple of things that I forgot to do so before the guest speaker came on. When you go to one of the breakout rooms, because this is a challenge for us, is the Zoom process. We will, in the Zoom or the breakout room after each session, because what happens is it stops the recording and allows us to cut off at that session and then start the recording at the next session. So you will receive a 90-second or 60-second timer that you're going to be removed from the breakout room. If you're in a room and you're in here, but you'd like to listen to the one next door, for those of you that are in-house, by all means, you can put your headphones on. You can listen through the Zoom to the presentation there. We just ask that if you're going to ask a question, use the chat. Because if you ask a question in here, I'm going to tend to answer your question, okay, or whoever's presenting. So you're welcome to stay in either room, that aspect, but just make sure you wear headphones if you're going to listen to the other side. If you're going to ask questions, by all means, you can ask if you want to in the room. You can ask on the Zoom. You can come off speaker. It should come across here so we can ask it. But we do have somebody monitoring the chat. So if there's any questions coming up and after the person presents at that slide, then we'll say we have a question. Here's the question. For you as a speaker, if you can repeat the question so everybody else can hear it, we greatly appreciate that as well. So is there any questions on the breakout rooms? Okay. You don't have to go back to the lobby, by the way. You can just select if you want to go to the other breakout, or you can go back to the lobby, and then you can just check in. We've opened it up so anybody and everybody can go in back and forth and not have to wait for us to let you in. As you know, we're recording this. I have to get with BMC on their recordings to see which ones we can post, which ones we're not going to post. At the end of the conference, a few days after that, what we plan on doing is uploading the presentations that we can release to YouTube, but limit it to everybody that has registered for the conference. So you could give the link to somebody else to watch it. They're not going to have access. So just letting you know. And then we're going to do that for 3 months. And then after that, we'll decide to release it to the entire public so they can see the recordings and so forth. If you want the decks, what I will do, I'm waiting on the final registrations to come in. We've already have it on a Google Drive. So I'll grant you permission to the Google Drive, and you can download all of the presentations that somebody has provided to me, as well as any of the recordings that are on there, like Miss Margaret Lee's is on there as well. But again, I have to see if I need to remove that to open it up to everyone. So you will receive another email from me giving you permission with the Google Drive link so you can start downloading all the files. Any questions about the Google Drive? Okay. And then I think that's it. Can't think of anything else. Talk about the debts. Any questions at all? Yes,
Lenny, we're over here we're gonna create the breakout rooms now. So yeah, we should be fine with that.
Okay. Well, the first session doesn't start till 10 o'clock. So you have enough time to go ahead and get some soda, go to the restroom, mingle, talk to everybody. I have right now 9:15. We kind of went through a little bit faster on the opening ceremony. Again, it's new to us standing up here. We usually have Dan come up here. Should have Dan up here talking. So